The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness, according to John Muir, naturalist and philosopher. And from Gifford Pinchot, pioneer in forest management, a forest, like a city, is a complex community with a life of its own. An exact and intricate system of competition and mutual assistance. But perhaps the most significant definition can be found in just one sentence written by Bob Marshall. The wilderness is all the senses harmonized with immensity into a form of beauty which to many human beings is the most perfect experience of the earth. In the Swan Range, not far from the vast Bob Marshall wilderness, lies a small area, the Jewel Basin, dotted with lakes and unique in scenic beauty. Within the Flathead National Forest, the proposed boundaries of the Jewel Basin Scenic Area are shown, blocked in red. Although small in geographic size, the accessible location and natural beauty offer unusual recreation potentials. In the tradition of John Muir, Gifford Pinchot, and Bob Marshall, the U.S. Forest Service, together with conservation groups, are concerned with present but far-sighted decisions to protect this scenic area. Within the boundaries suggested by the conservation organizations, the 31 subalpine lakes are ideally located for family recreation needs of a growing population. With the total resources of the 31 lakes, representing a combined water area of approximately 550 surface acres, fish biologists have estimated that about 210 half-pound fish a day during the summer months would be available for the sports fishermen. Excellent Forest Service trails provide easy hiking access to the lake and high mountain regions. Existing roads connect the trails with nearby cities and towns in the Flathead Valley. The Jewel Basin, located in the Swan Range, is of subalpine type. The natural borders encompass resources that are homogeneous and harmonious, and logically should be considered as a unit best suited for scenic and recreation use. Boundary decisions based on this premise would be in keeping with the U.S. Forest Service multiple use concept. In the words of Orville Freeman, the objective is to classify as wilderness those areas which are suitable for wilderness and which are predominantly valuable for wilderness. The establishment of the proposed boundaries would preserve the scenic value of non-commercial subalpine trees, clustered in isolated pockets. These boundaries would preserve the sparsely timbered land. In the event of harvest, because of altitude and poor soil conditions, much of the existing virgin timber would indicate a poor regrowth potential. The proposed boundaries would protect the area from erosion resulting from road construction or other major soil disturbances. As in most recreation areas, the existing fish and game species require a managed habitat of sufficient proportion to support the balance of nature necessary for survival. In the Jewel Basin, this concept would specifically apply to the mountain goat, wolverine, grayling, and black-spotted cutthroat trout. The proposed boundaries would safeguard against the overuse of existing well-planned trails. The encompassed area would ensure more adequate family campsites for increasing recreation needs. The Jewel Basin area's proposed boundaries, as formulated by conservationist groups, are shown here in a geometric pattern formed in square miles. It is suggested that ultimate boundary decisions should not be restricted to the somewhat arbitrary definition of the area, but instead should involve the knowledge and skill of trained personnel of the U.S. Forest Service to plot the region on a basis that will best conform to the natural formation of the land and water areas involved. The estimated yearly income from existing recreational facilities in the Flathead Valley alone indicates that outdoor activities yield substantial financial return to supporting communities. Based on research information from the Department of Agriculture, a dramatic increase in recreation visits during the next few years is anticipated. In a projected survey, it is estimated that recreational visits throughout the United States will rise from 20 million per year to nearly 200 million annually. In the Flathead National Forest, the problem is not one of total acres for wilderness and recreation, but rather additional areas, easily accessible and adaptable to family outdoor activities. Activities that include hiking, camping, fishing, scenic enjoyment, and appreciation of nature. President Kennedy in the 1962 White House Conference on Conservation said, "I don't think there is anything that could occupy our attention with more distinction than trying to preserve for those who come after us this beautiful country which we have inherited." In keeping with the President's statement, we believe our inheritance of the Jewel Basin area can best be preserved for scenic and recreational purposes, both now and in the future, through the adoption of adequate boundaries, which will encompass all of the 31 jewel-like lakes in the area. We believe the U.S. Forest Service, working with concerned groups or individuals, can achieve far-reaching goals in the interest of scenic and wilderness conservation.